Welcome, Leo, to your Leo February 2021 reading. It's great to see you, great to see the subscribers, as it always is. Much love and affection to you, always. We have great fun here, don't we? On our channel, it's different, it's good, and it's particularly beneficial for the highly talented and attractive Leo, I think. Now, by the way, I have a Leo card here, which I'm going to put at the top of the spread, and its energy will come through and infuse with this deck. Now, by the way, if you would like to have a personal clairvoyant reading with me, just check out the information that's in the description box below. I use some tarot at the end to answer specific questions, but during the hour it's psychic, and I use some playing cards as well. But you can check out the information that's in the description. Now, let's choose 5 cards for you, shall you? Because I'm really looking forward to doing this reading for you this month. I've got to say, let's have a look. What's the first one? 8 of Coins. Indeed. Well, what else might there be for you, Leo? The 10 of Wands. That's a very interesting card to have in the position that it's in. Let's have a look here. The Magician. Well, you know, this is looking as if it's going to be a pretty good month for you. Let's see what the final 2 cards have to say. We'll see what they are in relation to each other. Because there's fire and there's earth, and they're friendly with each other. And here's air. There's the King of Swords. So there could be somebody in your life, which could be, and also has something to say to you, whether the person is in your life or not. Let's have a look. It could be a couple of people there, actually. Let's finally have a look at this one here, which is the King of Wands. Well, you've got these people here, the Magician, the King of Wands, the King of Swords. Well, that's because you're so popular. That's why you have all these people around. Come and have a look at the imagery that's on these cards while I do the reading for you. Now, next month's video will be published on Wednesday, the 10th of February at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time, the Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's have a look. What a great spread here. Now, these 2 cards obviously have something to do with each other, is what I'm thinking, but let's have a look at this Leo card for you first, shall we? Have a look at it. It's quite interesting. This beautiful energy around it. Here is the sun and the sunflower that's there, your planet. Great energy. I just thought you'd be interested to have a look at that. That's what the artist did. But now let's have a look at this first card here, which is the Magician. And interestingly, this is the central energy for you this month. This Magician card, the Magus of power. And I have a lot of the planet Mercury around here. Well, what can I say? We really have here Mercury. So communication is going to be very important to you. Playful dealings with all possible forms of communication, flexibility, and brilliance. I think you will show action, power, manifestation of ideas and desires, willpower. I think you could be something of a smooth talker, and you'll have the gift of the gab. Now, these words are just coming through just for the moment, and it is, what word compares to your unending universe of love? Oh, plant your word in the chalice of my heart, and I will bear you children that shall walk the pathways of the stars, and shall know the Father that begat them. Now, the Magician here really represents the power of conscious creation for you, the ability for you to manifest or create what you want. And I think what we can say here is that the Magician is the one who knows the secret of changing things from one form into another. How you hold this power is important. Using your will and creative powers to manipulate others is a distortion of this energy, as you know, and this can sometimes be referred to as, well, practitioners who do it with great skill as black magic. Now, although in many ways the Magician represents the masculine pole of being able to initiate and go after things to create results, I like to think of the Magician as being more male and female together, but I'll refer to him as a male for the obvious reason. What makes him a master in the visible realms is that he knows how to harness the energies of the invisible. These include the deliberate use of thought and feeling, but also subtler realms, the thing to be born in you. It may be a book, a song, a work of art, or it may be a new direction in your work or life or the way you have been living. Remember that radical change is possible when you harness all the energies available. Now, you may want to work with affirmations and visualizations as part of your alphabet. You'll also need to mobilize your real-world skills and talents, harness your will, really, and learn to persist, because success seldom comes easily. Nonetheless, because this card is here in the center of your spread, this is very auspicious. Do not let fears and doubts stop you. Sometimes the place to begin is warming up your creative muscles. You'll know that dancers, musicians, and writers all have different ways of warming up. Look for the ways that are most pertinent and helpful to you. Creativity often starts with the unconscious, so give yourself room to experiment and to play. I think you don't need to know what the result will be beforehand. Just start by opening the channel, because this magician energy here knows how to manifest forms, because he knows how to work with the patterns that create forms. These patterns are patterns in consciousness at the highest level. They are patterns in the divine mind that are impressed into the clay of matter. They are the alphabet of creation. And this magician here uses his will in a focused and unified way, combined with the power of the heart and inspiration to become a channel for creation. Actually, I should say co-creation. The magician aligns with universal laws and the larger flow and combines these with personal will and intention. I think I might also say that this card represents skillful will and skillful action attaching to you during this time. It is action in harmony with the greater whole. The magician does not try to force something whose time has not yet come. Well, let's have a look. Where shall we go? And, well, I said this card was linked, and it is here for a reason, I think. It has a message, probably. It will come to me. Let's have a look at it first. The Ten of Wands. Well, for me, this is Saturn ruling the third decan of Sagittarius, that 13th to the 22nd of December. Now, Sagittarius wants to expand and express its optimism and spiritual side. And Saturn here is all about restriction. And so it represses the expansive nature of Sagittarius. There is, I think, feeling here that perhaps there may be some repressed feelings which are attached to you during this time, an energy which is held back, some sort of feeling. There's a possibility here of you maybe feeling overburdened by something, taking on too much, feeling the pressure, or feeling that you have no control over circumstances. Or it could be that you are even a victim of your own success. Now, this card which is underneath it, which is of the Magician, speaks of fantastic new beginnings here. Now, incidentally, these are beginnings which could be either good or bad in your mind. Not bad for you, but you may pursue morally the wrong path as well as the right path. This is completely amoral, this card. It doesn't say you need to pursue a right action or a wrong action. Naturally, I have my view, of course, that you should be pursuing the right action. But there's something I think that's blocking you from going ahead here. Something that no matter how hard you try, you feel as if you can't achieve it. Maybe frustration, anger, and irritability might raise their head. You could even lose faith in yourself and your ability to get what you want. Sometimes this can represent an actual person putting someone down and dominating their spirit. Whether you are consciously repressing yourself or not, recognize that there is much more which you would like to express, to experience, to enjoy and celebrate. Dare. I think there are some things you have always wanted to say to certain people. What are those things, and who are those people? You can, for the time being, just for yourself, express those things right now. Say to yourself, I have the right to follow my feelings and life impulses. But there is a feeling of repression in some way that I have here. And it's almost as if there is a feeling of, from what you have done or said in the past, that perhaps it's weighing with you in the effect you perceive it may have had on other people. So let me say this, and it is that despite what you may believe, you can disappoint people and still be good enough. You can make mistakes and still be capable and talented. You can let people down and still be worthwhile and deserving of love. Everyone has disappointed someone they care about. Everyone messes up, lets people down, makes mistakes. Not because we are inadequate or fundamentally inept, but because we are imperfect and fundamentally human. And expecting anything different is simply setting yourself up for failure, because nobody is perfect. Right, well, let's have a look to see what else there is here. Where am I drawn? I'm drawn here. What is this? Okay, this is the ace, the 8 of coins. Hello, 8 of coins. What do you have to say to my Leo friend here? Well, this is the Lord of Prudence. It is the Sun ruling the first decan of Virgo, at 23rd of August to the 2nd of September. Now, in the number 8 here, mystically, I have the planet Mercury associated with the numerology, that power of communication and willpower. Mercury in ordinary astrology. Now remember, I have the Sun in Virgo, but in ordinary astrology, Mercury, which is in the number, Mercury also rules and is exalted in Virgo. So this is very favorable. And I think that here the Sun energizes Virgo's hard work and attention to detail. Now, this card can also signify pregnancy and birth, but also it means that there is a time here, I think, when you need to realize that sometimes there is a strength in doing nothing at all. Sow the seed, set back and wait for the harvest. Now, this magician that was down here before, this isn't saying that what you make happen has to happen by tomorrow morning. This is a new creative undertaking that you're involved in here, or work or business or relationship. But this is just take it easy, sow the seed, sit back and relax. I think it's a time when you might find you are quite cautious. And it's important that you take calculated risks during this time. Don't be over-enthusiastic about investing money. Don't be over-enthusiastic about putting energy into things. Be careful with money. Learning and education and upskilling, I think, will be important to you. Look, I am getting the feeling of the need to have physical caution around this time, so just to be careful on any icy sidewalks and things like that. And you might have an attention to structure and detail at the moment as well. This is about not overextending yourself or underextending yourself. It's being in the sweet spot where you can sit back and see all that's there in front of you. And it's a time of the flowering of your internal and external richness. Yes, really much the case that I think it is that you need time and patience to develop something. Don't rush it as it's a long-term thing, and be prepared to bide your time and let it come to fruition. But this energy here is certainly encouraging you to keep doing what you are doing, as it will eventually lead to success. Now, sure, that's going to require a lot of dedication, focus, and patience, but as time passes, you get closer to your goal. Now, it may not be apparent to you, but events are unfolding around you that are going to lead you to your destination. That which is coming into flower in you is of exquisite beauty and delicacy. Provide for it the protection and nourishment it needs. You don't need to force anything. Everything unfolds at the proper time. Are you giving yourself the protection and nourishment you need now for your development? Just say to yourself, look, I relax and I trust life. Let's have a look at the King of Swords. 2 kings on the bottom line. Let's have a look here. Well, here he is, the Lord of Wind and Breezes. Now, I think that Taurus and Gemini are going to be important to you this time. A lot of Taurus, a lot of Gemini around him, because I think we have the energy of the mind associated with Gemini, with the influence of the stability and determination of Taurus. This is a man, although of course court cards can refer to either, but I'll refer to it as a man because he's depicted as king, who is active, clever, skillful, fierce and courageous, but who can often be unreflective. He represents the idea of attack, of the violent power of motion applied. He is the wind, the storm, and his moral qualities are skill, subtlety, cleverness. He is fierce, I think, can be quite delicate, courageous, but he can be altogether consumed by his current idea, which comes to him by way of inspiration and without considered thought. So I understand that you will be very goal-oriented during this period and have a great degree of ambition, but your intellectual powers will be quite flexible, I think. I think also there'll be a great degree of passion in your life. Yes, this is a time, I think, when you will have insight into a problem and you'll be working quickly to set goals and not letting anything get in the way. It's nevertheless, I think, something of a restless period, which is just interesting in relation to this card that we looked at here, which was saying that you do need to You need to bide your time with respect to something, but you may be restless. You may be saying, I want this to happen now, I want it. But you are transitioning, and that's what the magician was also saying. You're transitioning and trying to get somewhere else in your everyday life. It's time to listen to your head as well, rather than just your heart. Because I have the understanding here that this king here is somebody who's more comfortable in his head rather than he is in expressing feelings. Now, kings, they indicate restlessness in all aspects of life. Maybe you want to break free from a workplace. Now, in a relationship setting, this King of Swords can sometimes represent that love-hate relationship where there are breakups and reunions, breakups, reunions, breakups, reunions. And this is draining, isn't it, in the long run? This might be somebody that you know. Until someone says, well, who signed up for this? You are in a good position now to forge plans, to set goals and bring them to fruition. Do you know your goal? What happens once you achieve it? Imagine how you will best be able to enjoy your success. and say to yourself, I know my goal and I know what I am working towards. Each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. Well, let's have a look at his cousin, who is the Lord of Flame and Lightning. Let's have a look at him, the King of Swords, as most people know him by. Well, Sagittarius, I'm getting here, and Scorpio. Yeah, lots of Scorpio and Sagittarius here. Now, this king is fire esoterically, and he's in a suit of fire. So if you can imagine a firestorm, he's the fiery aspect of fire. So we're talking here about dynamic forward motion, increased insight, and coming changes. Energy and ambition again coming through for you. Adventurousness, but take calculated risks, as this card was talking about. Adventurousness, determination though. And, you know, you might want to put your seatbelt on, because other people are going to find you very charming and magnetic and attractive and hard to resist. And do what you will with that. But this is a period which is speaking of activity. I think some quite large generosity of spirit and of outlook on your behalf. I think that you may be impetuous, though. You'll be very proud. Swiftness is something that's going around you. I have to say that there could well be, this card is also saying, in this position, which is opposite this King of Swords, with the Magician here and with the Knight of Coins up there, this is saying to me that there could be some quite revolutionary sort of qualities contained in events around you at the moment. That is, changes going on around you. But you should remain calm, collected, resolute, and energetic, and be careful of the actions you take. Don't do anything that hasn't been well thought out, but go forward with an alert confidence in your ability. This is also speaking to me of you finding your vitality. Now, I think it's important for you to trust your gut instinct during this time and let your hair down. Give yourself a pep talk, because this Magician is asking you to get some things going. Understand it may not happen overnight, but give yourself a pep talk and understand that you will do it, because it is going to succeed. The harvest will be cut down, and so you will reap the rewards. And believe that you can do it. Be awake, ready for people or situations which could produce dynamic changes in your consciousness. Be grateful for this gift from existence. Receive it and don't cling to it. Does your present situation allow your energies to develop and unfold fully? And if not, what must be removed or changed? Seek out situations and opportunities that challenge you and engage them with all of your energy, and say to yourself that every challenge which arises helps me grow. Every storm strengthens my roots. What a fantastic spread of cards. Good job, Leo. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, I thought that was a fascinating reading, didn't you? It was great, very exciting, very interesting information coming through. Lots of things to think about, lots of things to prepare yourself for, and get things going, because you have got everything going for you. And there is actually one thing that I need to say, and it's this: make sure, look, if you did like the video, please do hit the like button. It does help the YouTube algorithm somehow or other. The YouTube gremlins do things, or elves, they go and do some stuff, and I'd appreciate that. But in the meantime, and until I see you again next month, remember one thing and one thing always, and it is this: that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.